Hello there, and welcome to the mothership. I am, of course, your general, LAK. Oh! Y'all doing alright? Good morning, or whatever time it is. You're never supposed to date your videos, they say. I don't do any fucking thing they say. Because they are not your friends. Good morning. Hello. How are you guys? Yeah, I just thought I want to say hello. You know what? I just can't. There's a little bit of a glare coming off of this machine here. Can we move this? Jesus. How come I didn't notice that before? This machine's really... There you go. That's pretty good, huh? That's not as bad. Hello. How'd you like that for an intro? Hey, Dave's Dimension. I've been working on an intro, too. That was it. No, I'm kidding, Dave. I think... No, all your fucking intros are pretty cool. They're all very cool. I actually don't know how you do that. If you watch my channel, you can tell that I don't do that. But you guys that do that are cool. Hey, welcome to the mothership. We have come to reclaim the pyramids, baby, yeah. With our hot cup of coffee. Somebody got me this, isn't that cute? Hey. So I was sitting around earlier this morning in the darkness, huddled in the corner naked with my knife, watching the car headlights go by through the blinds. Because at first when I woke up, I didn't really know where I was or what was going on or what those lights were, but, you know, I was covered, so it was fine. But after that, I was thinking about, I want to tell everyone a story, okay? Just a story. I think it's a cool story, but it really centers around, and this is just my representation, it centers around my fucking brother, Henry. Now, it's interesting because Henry, there's a lot of interesting shit. Anyway, so one time, I'm going to put it like this. So one time somebody asked my dad, because I was around, and I was telling somebody something, and I said, oh yeah, you know, Henry. And then somebody went to my dad and said, who is Henry? And my dad said, oh, that's his pahu. And so if any of y'all are old enough, and if you do know what that means, you must know it is the utmost fucking respectful term. Oops. My brother Henry. There's a fucking badass motherfucker. So look, I want to tell you this there's a lot of cool stories about Henry. But I've been watching... Oh, hey, I want to real quick... Shit. I don't know, dude. I feel like sometimes I feel like a wild... Does anybody else ever feel like a wild, injured Wolverine in a cage? Does anybody else ever feel like that? Like 100% of the time? Is it just me? Fuck. Anyway, god damn, sons. Fucking LAK is getting too real for you motherfuckers here. Alright. Woo! 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 Hold on, let me channel my dad for a second. What you doing, boy? I'll give you something to cry about. Anyway. So I want to tell you a cool story about my friend and brother, Henry. One day, old LAK, I think it was a Sunday of all days, one day LAK goes to, one Sunday morning, because this is how we roll where I'm from, I'm at the bar. And it's fairly early, so it's pretty quiet in the little bar. And My brother Henry is there. And Henry works at he's not on shift now, but he does work at this bar. He's actually like one of the top dudes at this bar. Like he has the keys and shit, right? So he's like, no, he works here. This is his bar. I don't know if anybody out there is old school enough. I know a lot of people work in bars now, but I don't know if y'all really work in like real bars, right? Because like if you're the bartender, you're fucking God. Like, and I don't mean that in a fucking sacrilegious fucking Beatles way, but I just mean like you are it, right? Like we used to fucking tell people, man, if you don't settle down, like we'll club you, pour booze on you, and call the cops, tell them you tried to rob the place. Like you ain't nobody in here compared to the bartender. You know, like that's the fucking hierarchy, motherfuckers, of the goddamn village where I'm from. Good, bad, or indifferent, that's how it is. So anyway, so Henry's there early Sunday morning. I'm drinking my scotch and coffee or whatever I'm drinking, because that's my favorite. I like scotch in coffee. That's a fucking drink, motherfuckers. Fuck all that other bullshit. So anyway, so I'm in there. The woman that I'm with at the time, who I'm not with her now, so I don't want to go into it, because I'll get in trouble from my old lady even talking about it. But she's kind of an important part of the story also, so you have to say. So I'm in there with my old lady at the time, and my brother Henry is in there, and I think maybe one or two other the old ladies who come and drink their hot chocolates with fucking cream de mint liqueur in it, right? They're all in there. And then our buddy, Big Bad Jim, who I hope is still alive. Jim, I know you, like nobody I know is watching this probably, but love you, Jim. I hope you're doing good. But anyway, so big badass motherfucking Jim is the bartender. And we're all just, having a good time and fucking all this cool shit. Okay, well, so where I'm from, they have the bar and they have the package store. And the package store, we call it a package store. Apparently other places call it a liquor store. Well, where I'm from, the package store and the liquor store are connected. It's not two different things, So when you're in the bar, sitting at the bar drinking, there's usually a passageway that goes to another bar, which is actually the package store. And you have to leave and go pick your booze up to go. You have to leave the building, go around, go in another door. I guess it's all legal shit. But anyway, the liquor store and the bar is the same fucking building, basically. They just have two different doors, and they're separated, but they have always have a doorway. And the door's open, It's not like they have to be separated, I don't think. But so anyway, we're all just chilling, and one of these young bucks who's fucking always no guidance, one of these young guys come in the package store, and I'm sitting where I can see, it's kind of I can see the package store door, I can see this window, where there's a ramp coming up through this door, there's a window on the corner, but the only way to look through that window in the corner and actually see me is to be over here and looking through it, kind of like you can't look at me this way, you just can't, it's not how, so I had my little stool, and it wasn't in the back in the corner, because that's sometimes not the best place, So, sorry, apologies. But I'm just chilling, drinking my fucking booze, everything's cool. Then one of the young bucks come in, and no big deal, and then another young buck comes in the bar, but I know these kids, we all know them, but they're troublemakers, we know they're troublemakers, but it's, whatever. They pretty much respect me, and they pretty much respect my old lady, and they respect Jim, because he's the fucking bartender, and they want to get their fifth. This is 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're trying to get their first fifth of the day to go and cut firewood, or whatever they're doing. Probably cutting firewood. And then so the young buck comes in, and he gets a little too close to Henry. The bar is L-shaped, and I'm on this part of the L, so I can look across the bar into the package store and the door. Henry has his back to the door because Henry invites fucking trouble. Henry wants you to come up behind him and touch him so he can turn around and fucking cut you with his fucking knife and legally be able to say, hey man, he attacked me from the rear. Henry puts himself in this situation. If me and some other people I know one guy who, hey, John in Cleveland. I'm near Cleveland. I know you're not watching this either, but I love you, brother. I hope you're alive and I hope you're doing good. But my buddy John, like, you know, everybody has that buddy, but like, no, John's my one. Like, he's a bad motherfucker, and he is the meekest, mildest looking, mild mannered. There's not a motherfucker on the planet who wouldn't look at my buddy John and kind of laugh and scoff and think like, who's that fucking dude? And then fucking John will fucking eat you alive. It's crazy. He is fucking wow. Never judge a book by its cover, y'all. But like people like John, who will fucking just take out entire Delta Team 6 or whatever. Like, no shit. If that motherfucker's walking down the street and he sees a gang of fucking people, like, he will cross the street and walk down the other side of the street to gain the tactical advantage. And then if they cross, he knows. Like, fuck it. He's like, you boys want to fucking play? You know, because, like, John will fucking shoot you if it's you know, gross disparity of force or whatever. He'll fucking light you up. John's no bullshit. All these motherfuckers are way more tough and badass than I am, you know? I'm nothing. I'm just a fucking punk kid who got beat up a lot by people like this. You know, not bullies, but like motherfuckers. Badass motherfuckers. Motherfuckers that went to fucking prison for fucking killing people and like... I'll tell you some other stories one day, but anyway, let's get back to this bar story. So it's basically the three of us. Me, my old lady at the time, Henry, us three, bartender. Bartender goes across to the package store to deal with this young buck. Other young buck's friend, young buck 2, he comes in the bar, you know, and I immediately think like, well, what the fuck's going on? Like, are they setting us up? We're getting robbed? Like this? Have they finally lost it? And the young buck 2, he says, hey, where's Jim? And fucking Henry says, he's talking to your fucking buddy on the other side. Well, what are you trying to play? Because Henry knows that Henry's on it too. And he says, oh, no, Henry, it's cool. And young buck 2 has these immaculate, that he probably stole, immaculate beaded gloves. You know, immaculate. Because, like, why is he going to the wood yard at 8 in the morning with these gloves on? And he pulls them off. And he says, hey, can I stash these behind the bar so I can come get them later? Now, look, that's Thief 101. I'm going to steal this. I'm going to go have my... Hey, unknowingly, hey, hold on. Right, has anybody ever seen The Godfather 2? You remember when he hands him the bag of guns and is like, hold this, don't say nothing? Like that... You know, you don't even have to live in a life to know these things. All you have to do is watch a movie, for fuck's sake. And everybody says, oh, that's movies. And that's because they don't want you to get any ideas that shit, like, is real. Like, no shit, fucker. So anyway, Young Buck 2 has these great fucking gloves that I wish I owned. You know, I would have fucking bought them or something. I mean, I probably wouldn't from him because I knew they were stolen. So he says, can I put these behind the bar? I'll be back in a couple hours. And by this time, Jim comes, hears him, says, yeah, sure, no problem. Takes the gloves, because this is a normal procedure too, right? It's like this is safer than the safe at your hotel, right? You give that shit to the bartender, you know, and like if you're where I'm from, that bartender will fucking die protecting your shit, which is probably unnecessary because he will fucking light them up. You know, like he will light them up and he will fucking give out the fucking smoke signals, and like 3 other people who are that bartender's ride or die will fucking show up and shit will fucking get fucking squelched quickly. Where I'm from, if you call the cop, if you call 911 and say, oh my god, I just found 3 dead bodies with their heads cut off and I think that he's running around, they'll be there in like 5 hours. They'll be like, okay, where are you? Oh, okay, we'll be there in a minute. And like 5 hours later, they'll be there. So don't, like in America, the lower 48, they always talk about this debate about the cops and all this kind of shit, and oh, you can't wait on them, and then there's other people who defend that. Like where I come from, nobody shows up. There is nobody. There's nobody. You don't call anybody. You call your brother, or you don't call anyone. There's no one but you and your fucking team. And that's why this country's fucked. Because everybody wants to be alone and secular, and they hate their family, and they hate right, and they hate their traditions, and they hate everything. But then they need to call somebody. Okay, that's called your family. That's why people had fucking a whole bunch of kids, right? Like, that's why people did that. So you'd have an army, you'd have a team, you have to have a support system. Because believe me, I lived alone in the wilderness for a long time. And I didn't need a support system because I didn't live in society. But you do need one when you live in society. You know? I mean, you do. Even in the little village I lived in, you know, and even then, everybody was on the same team. It's weird. Like, we could all fight and bicker and have fucking fights in the bar, and there was a hierarchy of who was toughest and all that kind of shit. But when other motherfuckers showed up, who weren't us, none of that shit mattered. None of that shit mattered. You dig what I'm saying? So, that's how we're gonna fucking push further. Anyway, so, I'm getting off track. We haven't even gotten to the cool part. So that's the setup. Young Bucks leave. Young Buck leaves really nice gloves behind the bar. Sweet. A time later, the Young Buck returns. And he returns oddly at the same time that Jim, the bartender, is not at the bar. He's at the package store. Right? He's at the package store dealing with a different one of his friends. So they're doing it again. And Young Buck says, hey, I just want to get my gloves. And my brother Henry says, because Henry is the other bartender, but he's not on shift, so he ain't fucking helping you. You know, he ain't helping you, this guy. He might help you, or you, but not this guy. He says, well, fucking Jim is back there, you gotta wait. And Young Buck says, no, it's cool, Henry, I see my gloves right there. And Henry says, don't fucking go behind the bar. And Young Buck goes, no, because he just drank a fifth. Says, no, it's cool, I'm just gonna grab my gloves. And I know immediately, I'm like, don't get the gloves. Now, if it was me, and I was Henry, I probably would have went, yeah, here you go, here's your gloves, have a good day, because I want you to get the fuck out. I don't want you in here. You know, I might have made a scene when you came in there to, like, I don't hold people's gloves, get the fuck out, is probably what I would have done. So I would have not even allowed this entire situation to even fucking happen. Because when the guy brings in his fucking $500 fucking handmade gloves and wants the bartender hold him behind the bar, no, fuck you, get the fuck out. And if I hear anybody asking about gloves, I'm fucking sending them your way, cocksucker. Get the fuck out. I don't want you here. That's how I would have done it. But that's not how it happened. I was not in charge of any of this. I'm just sitting there drinking my shit, watching. That's all I'm fucking doing, you know, and I'm probably nudging my old lady every time something like this is something serious, like the next step happens. Like Henry says, don't go behind the bar, and because I know Henry's fucking, like, it's like a setup. Like, Henry's setting him up. Henry could just have been like, hey, here's your fucking gloves, bro. Take it easy, man. He could have said that. No. He's pissed about whatever the fuck he's pissed about. And he's telling him, don't go behind the bar. Well, Young Buck does what, everybody? And it's not even behind the bar. He reaches behind the bar. He grabs his gloves. Fucking Henry. Now, Young Buck is probably like a 30-year-old, 168-pound, you know, zero body fat native who fucking cuts wood and, like, you know, motherfuckers where I come from are no bullshit. Like, even the motherfuckers who do nothing, even the motherfucker who we call a couch potato where we're from, who sits on their couch and watches movies most of the time, like, those motherfuckers are still 10 times more fucking badass and do more fucking work and labor than a lot of fucking people in the United States. And I don't mean that in a mean way to people, but even our couch potatoes fucking cut wood and goddamn hunt moose and fucking, you know what I mean? Pick up a fucking 225-pound hindquarter of a moose and pack it through goddamn knee-deep snow, fucking 500 yards. Like, even our fucking weakest motherfuckers can do that. So, wow. So this motherfucker reaches behind the goddamn bar and gets his fucking gloves. And what does Henry do? He says, I told you not to go behind the bar. Fucking Henry gets up off his stool. He spins around there's not snow on the ground yet, but it's cold. And this guy, Young Buck, has a jacket on. Like, he's wearing whatever he's wearing, but he has a jacket, like a ski jacket. And it's zipped up, and it's low, like this. And Henry turns around, and I'm still just watching, because it's Henry and this dude, and I feel bad for this dude, you know? Like, and I'm thinking, goddamn, Henry, way to ruin a fucking nice Sunday morning. Drinking coffee and scotch, 8 a.m., fucking stoned, whatever. Like, now there's a fight happening. God damn. Excuse me. So Henry turns around, he grabs this dude by his shit, real low like this, and fucking picks him up like that, right? Picks him up. Now, when Henry does this, he picks him up and fucking pulls his shoulder. I mean, he has him up. And I looked at, and I'm literally chilling out watching this like this, right? And I'm like, whoa. Because at that point I thought, well, Henry's a little stronger than I thought he was, you know? And I look down, and I can see that the kid, young buck, like, he's literally on his tippy toes. Like, if Henry just, like, sneezes, like, he's off the ground. This kid, and I don't know what the kid's doing with his arms. He's just in shock. Like, I guess he could have done something, but he was in shock, you know? And so when Henry had him up, and he had him fucking kind of close, but he grabbed him here, right? So these hands are Henry's, and this is the guy's body. And by the time Henry did all his shit, Henry's hands were up here, right? So the dude's like entire top of his body is above, like, in space. And I see that, and I look down to look, and I see his little feet almost going wee wee wee. And at that moment, this is very hard for me to explain, because I told the story. This to me was the most amazing thing. Like, my buddy Henry was my brother. Sorry to fucking oust you like this, but so, like, my brother is like fucking, he's like 65 years old now, right? And he spent a total of like 27 years in fucking prison. And every time this motherfucker gets in a fight, I have never spent any time in, like, prison. You know. I've never been, like, sentenced or whatever. But my brother Henry fucking did like 27 years. I think 18 years was the longest he did at one time. But he did like 27 years at total. But my point to that is that every time I ever get in a fight around him, or he gets in a fight, I fucking goddamn see him do some shit I've never heard or seen or whatever. And, like, I've seen a lot of fights. I've been in quite a few fights. I've fucking been around people who are coaches and trained and fucking, like, I'm not saying I'm good at that, but, like, I've seen a fuck ton of shit. And every time Henry ever did anything, I went, what the fuck was that move? You know, and I always thought, well, that's like a prison move. Like, what the fuck? I don't know anything about that. And, like, I even know what 52 blocks is, right? Like, remember 52 blocks? Which was supposed to be like, which some of it, hey, if you want to catch a fucking, I was always taught to catch someone's punch right here on your head. Like, they want to punch you here, all you do is duck your head, you know, in a street fight. And that works, y'all. That breaks fucking, but, like, 52 blocks wants to, and what is it, like Tai Chi or one of those other ones, Kung Fu or something? They want you to parry their punch into your elbow to break their hand. And, like, that's a lot of work. Why don't you just go like this and let them fucking hit you right here? I don't know. It's different strokes for different folks. I've had the fuck beat out of me a lot of times. I'm not a bad motherfucker at all. I'm fat and I'm old, and I haven't even really trained in a while, because I'm recovering from a back injury and am slowly getting there. But yeah, that's why I carry fucking, like, guns and knives and fucking concealed weapons licenses and fucking know the law and shit, because, like, I don't want to get in a fight. I do not want to get in any fucking fight at all. I'm gonna leave. I'm leaving. That's what I'm doing. My fat ass is leaving, okay? But if anybody wants to put the gloves on and come fucking, let's do some shit, let's fucking do it. I mean, you know, to learn and exercise. I'm all for that. I need to find a training partner, because you got to get somebody to fucking, like, rip you around. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I can do all the shit I can do, but it's not like somebody fucking grabbing you and trying to fucking break your arm, because now you're stretching. You know, now you're doing shit you didn't know you could do. Anyway, let me get back to this move. I'm sorry, you guys. This is LAK don't make short videos. You fuckers know this, right? So I'm looking at Henry's feet, right? And this is, okay, so here's Henry's feet, right? Because he has legs. And these are his feet. So Henry, I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying here, but so Henry takes his one foot and he hooks it around the heel. I'm going to do it with both. He takes his own fucking foot and fucking hooks it behind his own foot, like he's going to sweep his own foot. And Henry's fucking standing with his feet fucking real close together, too, which is like nothing you do in a fight. But I guess in a fight in a phone booth or a fight in a fucking prison cell, I guess you don't have much of a choice. I don't know. I never had a fight in a fucking prison cell. My brother Henry has fucking had a lot of fights in a prison cell. I myself have never done that. And don't want to. But so Henry fucking takes his foot and he hooks it around and then he does a calf raise and he's like, and he fucking timbers this motherfucker. Has anybody ever even heard of that? Can I recreate this with like a figure? It's not possible. It's crazy. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So like, I don't know. So Henry has this motherfucker by the collar. See, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. Do people know what I'm saying? Because this was goddamn, how old am I? I'm almost 40, and I was probably like 22 when this happened. And I still fucking think, holy fuck. So Henry has this guy up in the air, basically, right? And then he just falls like a tree with him. Like that. He just falls like a fucking tree, you guys. So he, like this, and he goes, and Henry and the dude are both like here's Henry, and here's Henry's head, and here's the dude's head, and they're like this, right? Because Henry's picked this guy up, and they fall. Do you see how fucking fat I am? I can't even, can other people put their elbows together? I can't do that. I can't do that. This is like 62 inches. I have like short arms. I don't know. But so Henry takes this motherfucker and fucking and they're really close together in their bodies too. And he just fucking falls like a tree. And when this kid fucking hits the ground, like Henry's face is like in his chest. And Henry's like all scrunched up and protected. And this kid is just like out there, dude. And his fucking head, I shit you not, I watch his head go like this. And it looked like Calamity Jane's fucking bullwhip, y'all. It was like, and it didn't hit the floor. Like, you know, in like a match when somebody gets knocked out, a lot of times it's like or like when you shoot an animal and they drop, it's like a whoomp, right? It's just a nothing. This was a fucking wham, and it would make just watching it would make some motherfuckers want to throw up, you know, because like you get that idea, like you remember what it was like when you got concussed and you like taste the pennies and you see the white flash and your fucking stomach you're gonna throw up and you feel like you're getting choked. Like when I saw that happen, I went, oh fuck, right? And I thought the guy was dead. I thought the kid was fucking dead, y'all. And Henry fucking bounces back up with his fucking, like, at this time, probably like 50-something-year-old fucking gray-haired fucking ass. He pops back up and like finds this superhuman strength. He picks the kid back up. He just picks him up. Like a fucking nothing. Like a log of firewood. Picked him up. And like Henry's kind of a little skinny guy. Henry's probably like 120, maybe 140 pounds. Like Henry, and he's probably like 6 foot tall. So he's kind of skinny, you know, but motherfucker, whoa. And he just picked this guy up and he fucking gets him to the door, and I think he's going to throw him out the door. He opens the door, he takes him outside, and out of the door is a tiny little balcony, you know, that like maybe 5 people can stand on. And one side has steps, real short, steep steps, and the other side has a ramp for like a wheelchair. Uh-oh! Because there's, you know, we have a lot of old people. Where I'm from, and so they want to come to the goddamn bar, so we have a ramp for them, and so Henry takes this motherfucker outside, and I've turned in my bar stool, and now I'm looking, the door is like at this angle, and there's windows next to the door that are like when you walk up the wheelchair ramp, you can look in the window. Right, you can see people in there, right? So like I'm looking at the action now through this one, and I think Henry's just gonna throw him out, cause like, dude, it's over. I don't even know if the guy is conscious. I really don't. But Henry has him, and I see Henry he goes through the door. There's like, you know, the couple 2 feet in between the door and the window where I lose sight of them, and then I see most of them in the window again, and they're on the ramp, right? And fucking Henry's on the fucking ramp. And he fucking does it again. Like, I see through the window, Henry stands him up and gets him all ready and fucking, like, proceeds to do the same move in basically slower because he really gets it on this time because nobody's bothering him and like the kid is not fighting back. And he picks him up again and he fucking takes him down, but now he lands on a ramp from the top. And I go, oh shit, motherfucker. And I don't know what Jim is doing. I think Jim is actually having trouble with the fucking other dudes in the other thing. I don't know. Because I'm watching my brother. Jim's on his own, man. Henry's my brother. And I'm worried. So this is what happened. So he fucking slams him the second time. And I go, oh fucking Christ. And I fucking whack my old, not whack, but like, I nudge my old lady in the arm and I say, he's gonna fucking kill that motherfucker. I gotta go stop him. Because Henry sometimes needs to be motherfucking stopped. Right? So I guess I'm not real worried about it, but I tell her that and I go out there. By the time I get out there, because I missed it, I fucking told her something, and it takes that fast, the whole situation changed. I walked out that door, and now Henry was at the bottom of the ramp. Now fucking old young buck was fucked up on the ground. He's done. I walked over him, but at the bottom of the ramp, Henry is inside of this circle of like 6 of this motherfucker's buddies, which none of us even knew existed. They're all outside. So I walk out the door with my fucking like, I didn't know I was going to fight. I was going to go out there to stop Henry from killing this guy, right? So I walk out that door and I immediately realize, oh, there's more for me. But it's like a fucking Ninja Turtle fucking show, right? Like Henry is literally inside of a circle, and they're like fucking basketball fucking player fucking punching. I would really like to see a basketball player fucking haul off and just fucking like textbook fucking blam, you know? I would really like to see like, you know? Here's my impression of every person in NBA who's ever thrown a punch. Slow-mo. You motherfuckers in the NBA need to learn how to throw a punch. Or don't throw punches. Don't throw punches. Because you just laugh. Like, everybody thinks you're cool because you're a basketball player, okay? But whatever coolness you think you fucking achieved through that, you lost when you did this. And you hit him, like, on the back and the shoulder blade. Fuck, dude. I'm sure some of you basketball players are tough and you train a lot and all that kind of shit. But if you learn how to punch, you might actually be fucking real fucking force to be reckoned with. Who knows? So I walk outside, and Henry's in the middle of this fucking, like, the Foot Clan, and they're fucking basketball punching him, and he's covering up, and I immediately think, like, ooh, goody. Because they're beating up my friend. Like, there is no legal recourse here, baby. They are jumping my friend, who is almost a 60-year-old man, and there's, like, 6 25-year-old known hoodlums who have, like, felony records. Game is on, motherfucker! Free time! Yeah! Like, blah, no, blah. Like, you motherfuckers who are like that need to watch your shit, because there are motherfuckers like me who are just, they're like, oh yeah, that's a multiple felon. Yeah, we can knock him the fuck out anytime we want to. Anyway, I'm not like this anymore, you guys. But so I go out there, and I fucking run down there, and for whatever reason, you know, because I watch too many, like, John Wayne movie fights, I go down there, and I get the first 2 in the fucking double headlock, pull them off, and then give them, like, the Andre the Giant fucking boom, head-to-head thing, which is a devastating move, you guys. I don't know why, like, people make fun of shit that they do in, like, superhero shows and shit, but, like, take 2 motherfuckers' goddamn coconut melons and hit them together. Like, those motherfuckers are not fighting anymore. They're done. They're done. So I get the first 2 off of him, and I fucking Andre the Giant him, right? And then, like, I think one of them peels off. And it's just, like, gone, right? And then there's 2 that really have Henry, you know? And I grab one, and, like, I'm not really trying to hurt these people. I'm just trying to get them off Henry. So, and I think I grab one, like, you know, like, I'm him, but this is my arm. I think I grab him like this. and I pull him around and I give him like a short chop or some shit, you know, like a 1 inch. And like all these people are like one-hit wonders, bro. Like you don't even have to fucking like. Just now that there's 2 of us and 6 of them, that's unfair. So everybody's actually now leaving, you know. And I don't think it's because I'm a tough guy. It's just because these guys really are chicken shits. They'll beat up a fucking 50-year-old man, which they weren't doing actually a very good job of, because they weren't hurting Henry, right? But so the 2 guys, I don't know what happened to them, and I don't know what Henry's doing, right? I'm just peeling people off, hopefully getting him enough breathing room so he can start doing whatever the fuck he's doing, you know, which hopefully is leaving. So I get the 2 head bonk, I get the 1 short chop or something, and like I think I have my hands on another guy, you know. That's all I remember. I have my hands on another guy, and out from nowhere, like left field, I see this punch coming, and it's pretty fucking slow, and I see it, you know. And actually at this time I cut my hair right after this, but I had a huge Andre the Giant afro actually, and I blame my afro on eating this punch, because like I can see, I don't know what kind of angle, but like, you know, I can see my hand all the way to here. Like I literally can see my finger, but when I have hair out to here, I can't see, you know. And I fucking had this dude, and I saw a fist about right here, you know. And it was like this, and I went, oh fuck. And I was gonna drop my head to let him hit me there, but I was not fast enough. And that motherfucker hit me right here. And I didn't know this at the time, but my fucking tooth, my lower tooth went right through my lip. And it was like even stuck on it, which I didn't know at the moment. But I ate that punch, and I fucking, whatever dude I had in my hand, I absolutely deflated. And I turned around, and it was this motherfucker who I'd seen before but didn't know. And like, this guy actually went away to prison for like abusing fucking his kids or something. This guy, we all knew this guy was a piece of shit. I'm usually right, and people say not to do this, but like, I think people try to brainwash you to go against your gut feelings, but like, I can pretty much look at people and go, nah, I don't know about that guy. It's like when the dogs growl at somebody, right? When a dog fucking meets somebody and they just don't like them, you need to fucking keep your eye on that motherfucker. You really do, right? I mean, that's like, I was raised by fucking natives, you know, Yupik and Inuit Eskimos and Athabascan Indians, and like, any motherfucker will tell you that. If somebody comes around and their fucking dog fucking growls at them, they're probably not, they're not going to be your friend, you know. So anyway, so this guy fucking gives me a fucking, you know, and it didn't hurt, but boy, I'm mad now because I just ate a punch. I just got punched in the face by some motherfucking bitch. So I turn around because I'm about to fucking rip this cocksucker's head off. And by this time, we're off of like the sidewalk and he's in the street. He's out in the fucking street. And he immediately, after punching me, is like 40 feet away from me. But I turn and he like sprinted away. And I turned and I said, come on back here, motherfucker. And he's like, nah, man, come on and get some, And I said, no, motherfucker. You just hit me. Come back over here. Like, I'm not gonna chase you. What the fuck? Like, now I'm having a conversation in the middle of a fight. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, bring your ass back over here. This is about to get ended. Right? That's what I tell him. Because I'm not running over there. Fuck this. No shit. The moment I said that, my fucking old lady's white Ford Contour comes into fucking view, and she puts the fucking goddamn fender, like, I don't know if you, like, if you can think of a 98 Ford Contour, it's very round by the headlight. She took the fucking front headlight, that area, and she rammed it right up the fucking dude's asshole. And fucking, she wasn't going fast. I don't know. She obviously had done this before, but she hit that motherfucker, and he popped up in the air like a fucking pop-top cork, and fucking landed fucking on his face, and was fucking, I don't even know. He looked dead. But I knew he wasn't dead, because it wasn't that violent of a fucking action. And she fucking has her window down, and she says, you get your fucking ass in this car right now. And I say, yeah, okay. Okay. So I get in the car, and I see Henry's leaving. Henry's getting in, like, Jim's truck and leaving, and we're leaving. So everything's fine. Fight's over. It wasn't much of a fight. It was not much of a fight. I thought it was fucking awesome. So fast forward to later on that night, later on that evening. It's real dark outside. You know, it's because it's like fall time. It's September. So in September in Alaska, where I live, at that point, because of the way the Earth turns, you know, you have like an actual daytime and nighttime, like everyone else in the fucking world does normally. So later on that evening, I fucking hear a truck outside, you know, and it's nobody I know. It's like somebody with no muffler or whatever. But I hear it, blah, blah, blah. And the dude that Henry fucked up lives across the street. Like, I'm living with this woman in the HUD housing district of this fucking, they used to call it Tent City, you know, but now it's Skid Row. We call it Skid Row now, but it's HUD housing. And these motherfuckers live, not the guy who she ran over, but the dude Henry had a problem with, lives across the street with his mom. But I don't care. Like, none of these people even, like, they respect. I don't want to sound like I'm an asshole, but I mean, like, these motherfuckers didn't fuck with me. They were very polite, you know, and all that kind of shit, you know, because, like, I don't know. I do not take disrespect, and I do not take bullshit, right? And I am prepared to get the fucking shit beat out of me by people who are tougher or bad. Because, look, my dad taught me a long time ago, there's always somebody badder, motherfucker. And that is the goddamn truth, son. There's always somebody fucking badder. I ain't nobody, son. I ain't nothing. I've had the fuck beat out of me so much, and I've had my brains fucking scrambled to the point to where now, like, my biggest thing is, like, you have a real hard time hurting me. That's all I got. You know, I might fucking eat 8 or 6 fucking really good fucking hits with a baseball bat to the face before I fucking get my hands on you, but then it's over. And then it's over. Because you know. But I'm getting old and fat. I'm getting old and fucking fat. You know, and I need to train more. Anyway. So, later on that evening, I hear this truck. This is the end of the story, y'all. I'm sorry to go on so long. Later on that fucking evening, I hear this truck fucking pull up outside, and I fucking just kind of know something. I just know. Well, I own a few firearms at this time in my life. One firearm I owned at that time, which I don't own now, was a single shot 10 gauge shotgun, and I equipped it with a Surefire light and laser, which I thought was really cool. And I kept it by the door it was my wintertime gun, you know, and because it had the light and the laser. So I get this fucking gun. It's a turkey gun. You know, in Alaska they don't know anything about turkey guns, but it's a real short. It's all legal, but it's a short barreled, as shortest legal limit you can have. You know, so it's like whatever that is, 28 inches overall and 18-inch barrel or something. I have to look it up, but it was legal. Like, I bought this gun like this, and somebody else had customized it as a turkey gun, but I liked it because it was a 10 gauge and it had removable chokes, so I could put a cylinder bore choke in there and shoot a 10 gauge slug. And if I had a buddy that, you know, like, hey, you might run into a bear here, take this gun, right? Because it was a cheap gun, but it was enough. You know, 3.5-inch Magnum 10 gauge slug, yeah, one shot's all we need. You know, because you don't get more than one shot when you're fucking with the bears. People think, oh, I can shoot again and again. No, motherfucker, you get one shot. People don't understand that. Like, maybe in a gunfight, you know, is different. But if a bear wants to eat your ass, you may get one shot. And I'll tell you a story about that, because I had 2 very good friends that were fucking killed by a bear. And they knew better, and they knew what they were doing. And those motherfuckers were ready, and they never got a shot off. Motherfucking bear killed them both. Anyway, so this guy pulls up. It's this dude who my old lady ran over. And he gets out of his car. And I'm not shitting you, this dumb motherfucker gets out of his car and he pulls out. Now look, I'm at a HUD house. If anybody's aware of how at least in Alaska, the HUD houses have 13 or 14 steps to the front door. And it's a house on a 4-foot pony wall, and the pony wall is on a gravel. So, and it might have been more like 16 steps, but my point is that I'm like 24 feet vertically in the air from this guy. And he's down in the middle of the road, and he just got out of his car. And he pulls out a knife, a folding knife. And I remember it because I watched him. That's not what I'm doing here, but so he folds this knife out and he says, He says, "Come the fuck down here, motherfucker, because I'm gonna fucking cut you." Right? And I pull up this fucking pin gauge and I fucking hit him with the light and the laser, and I cock the gun and I tell him, "You on the wrong side of town, motherfucker, and you done brought the wrong motherfucking weapon." And I shit you not, this motherfucker drops his fucking shit and runs to his car and leaves. Like I had him. I thought he was gonna go to his car and grab a rifle or something, and I was gonna down this fucker in defense of my life. But he didn't. He jumped in his car and went and took off. And then about like a year later, he fucking was arrested and convicted for fucking like molesting his own kids, that piece of shit. So I'm glad I didn't shoot him, because now he's fucking rotting away in prison like he fucking should. You know, so bam. Anyway, that story was supposed to be about my brother Henry, my brother Henry. You're the bomb. Love you, brother. I hope you're doing good. This has been the hour story time with LAK with a cup of coffee, and, you know, I just thought I'd tell you all that story about something that happened in my life. Hey, if you like this story, please hit the like. If you don't like it, still hit the like. It helps me out. If you're watching this video, would you please subscribe? I don't say that on my videos, but I noticed that people say that, so I didn't know I had to ask. But hey, please, subscribe and like and share. And you know what? If you don't do any of those things, but you still watched it, I appreciate it. And I hope that it was entertaining or something. You know what I mean? Because I'm not really in this to, like, get rich or whatever. I just want to I don't even know what I want to fucking do. But I'll tell y'all fucking stories about shit that happened to me in my life. Because some crazy shit's happened. Everybody has a story. I'm not the only one. So I don't want people to think that I feel like I'm special. There's a whole bunch of people I grew up with that have the same story as me. You know what I mean? So, but when you go other places, it's strange to people. So, I don't know. This is General LAK saying, you keep doing what you're doing, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and together we will fucking defeat evil. I'm sure of it. This has been General LAK in transmission.